a torch for our first car. Mine, a brown Talbot Alpine. How unglamorous was that, honestly? Some of us enjoyed formative experiences in the back seat. Some of us, in fact, in the front seat, trying very hard to avoid the gear stick, as I recall. Some of us welcome the advent of motorreunited.co.uk. It's been a huge success, this website, to link you up forever with your very first car. We're going to be talking to the brains behind the website, but we want to know if you desire to be reunited with your very first motor. Tell us why, tell us what. Did it have a name? What was special about it? Why would you like to be reunited with your very first car? What are your first motoring memories? 0207 224 2000. You can text me 077 86 200 949 or email vanessa@bbc.co.uk. And the celebrations to welcome 10 new countries to the EU grow ever more bacchanalian. Nigel Barden will be along to tell us about Meet Your Neighbour. It's a food fair at the Foreign and Commonwealth offices in Westminster. That's Patty Smith and Mother Rose. Okay, the story is hot, it's current, it's today. We've all heard of the phenomenal success of Friends Reunited. Reuniting old school friends, precipitating huge numbers of divorces. People realise that the person that they knew when they were 6 as a junior mixed infant is actually their own true love and rush off, leaving husbands and children squandered along the way. But far more exciting, a website that will allow you to hook up again with your first ever old jalopy. It's called motorsreunited.co.uk. It's a website that will help you track down your first and most beloved motor. Maybe not your first, maybe your second or third beloved car. And I'm joined on the line by the brains behind that website. Jonathan Rowley, welcome to the show. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
What a good idea.
Thank you.
Tell me how it came to you. Was it a moment of sort of an Einsteinian epiphany? You suddenly thought of it?
Well, I've been a little bit mad on cars all my life, really. My father's fault, really. We had lots of vehicles around, and we were just chatting away one day and came up with the mad idea. I was already developing various websites, and it just seemed an obvious thing to do, really.
And what was your first ever motor?
My first ever motor was a Mini, like a lot of people, I guess.
And would you like to be reunited with it? Have you been?
Not particularly, no, although I was reunited last night with the Triumph Herald convertible that I used to own, which was one of my second or third motors.
Oh, now that is a highly aspirational car still, isn't it?
It was great, yeah. And, you know, when I got it, it was delivered yesterday. A little old lady walked by, and I guess this is the reason it's so popular. She said, you know, I had one of those cars, and my husband proposed to me in it.
Wow.
And
but does that mean you now own it? You've bought it back again, your Triumph Herald?
Yes, I have. I've tracked down a Herald. It's not the same one, actually. It's a similar vehicle, but I guess it just explains the craziness about it, really.
How much, out of interest?
How much? That was £550 yesterday.
And drivable and MOT'd and everything?
Not MOT, no, it's drivable, but it needs a bit of work, really. But, keep me busy over the summer, that one.
What colour?
It's white.
I really love one of those. I love those Triumph Heralds.
And the little lady, she said, you know, he must have loved me then when he proposed.
Oh. I'll just read you some of the responses we've had because we're taking your calls on this. This is about Motors Reunited, and it's John Rowley's idea. He's on the line. This is the idea you can get back either with your first ever car or the car you've always loved and missed, the car that got away, the one you wish you still had. And this is from Jo, and she says this is exactly what we hope we get in response. Listen to this, you'll love this, Jonathan. Mm-hmm. Dear Vanessa, I don't want to get in touch with my first car, but the car in which I gave birth to my gorgeous son Gabriel.
Oh.
It was a beautiful, sleek Mazda MX-6 with a metallic grey exterior and a rather appropriate red leather interior. I do wonder where it is now, as I'd like to show Gabriel where he was born, which was the front seat, actually. I enjoy your show. All the best, Joe. Typical of the sorts of people who contact Motors Reunited?
Very much so, yeah. A lot of first motors, a lot of motors where the first sexual conquest was gained, as it were. A lot of people who had driving lessons and want to track down that vehicle for some strange reason.
Oh, really? So do you think that would be a nightmare vehicle?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, we're taking your calls on this, listener. The number 0207 224 2000. Which car would you track down and why? Which is the car that has forever occupied a piece of your heart? This is from George in Brixton, and he says, Motors Reunited, my first motor was written off by me and is now probably 200 teaspoons. Let's bring in John in Gray's Inn. Hello, John.
Oh, yeah, Vanessa, okay.
Tell me about your car.
Yeah, it's a Triumph Herald convertible.
Oh.
It was a 1360, and it was just gorgeous. I bought it off my father, actually.
Well, that's what I bought last night.
For £400 off about 20 years ago.
What colour?
It was brown.
Tell us more.
Oh, it was, it had nice wheel, it had like Vitesse wheels on it, which was a bigger engine Herald, actually. And actually, a Classic Car Weekly is all about Triumph Heralds. It's a collector's paper.
So would you really like to track that particular Herald down if you could?
Funny enough, I would actually, because I still remember the number plate, EMU 473J.
So, Jonathan, is that all it takes? Just a number plate?
Yeah, just a number plate and the make and description of the vehicle, just the make and model, really. If you put that on there, then you can go and search for vehicles of a similar kind. And
Oh, excellent.
Absolutely, yeah. In fact, that's the vehicle I bought last night, a 1360 convertible.
Oh, really?
The whole thing must be incredibly tempting for you, Jonathan, as a complete car maniac. And I've got a friend called Danny Lacter, who's very famous in North London as one of the most sort of profoundly knowledgeable car dealers ever of all time. And he always says, it doesn't matter about the food, it doesn't matter about the conversation, it doesn't matter about who you're with, all that matters is the car that you came in.
Funny, isn't it?
And it's probably true, do you think?
It is, absolutely, yeah. As long as you can a lot of men remember registration numbers. I don't know how many women remember registration numbers.
That's true, actually.
It's a sad thing. I've bought 3 vehicles this week. I bought another one. I won't go on and on and on.
You don't keep them all, do you?
No, not really. No, just play with them and pass them on, really.
What have you bought? What else have you bought this week?
I bought another one of my first vehicles, which is an Opel Manta.
An Opel Manta. I know somebody who was given an Opel Manta as a company car and was absolutely consumed with embarrassment.
Well,
couldn't wait to be promoted until he got something else.
It's coming back, though. It's all coming back. The past comes back, doesn't it?
Does it? Let me bring in on line 3 Michael in Harrow. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Vanessa.
Tell me about the car of your dreams.
The first car I had was a Hillman Imp. But I'd rather get one that we used to go to Ireland in when we were kids. It was a Traveller.
Tell me more about a Traveller.
Morris Minor.
Oh, my gosh. What colour?
It's, I can't remember.
You can tell I'm a girl because I keep saying what colour about everything, and so I can envisage it. That's what girls do with cars, isn't it? I can't help asking them, so I'm going to stop asking that question now. So would you log on to Motors Reunited to try and effect a fantastically romantic reunion with that car, the Traveller?
Yeah, well, you know, I'd have to learn how to use computers first, but yeah, I'd like to get that, an old Morris Minor Traveller.
Why? Why do you feel such affection for it?
Oh, it's just classic car, you know, and the old things that stuck out. You know, the indicators that used to come out of the side.
Yes, actually, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Let's ask Jonathan Rowley of Motors United. Is that a common request for that car?
Yeah, lots of Hillmans, lots of sort of normal vehicles, really. Old vehicles, Triumphs and Minis. There is modern vehicles as well as classic vehicles, though. I mean, there's all sorts of things. Vauxhall Chevettes and Ford Capris and Cortinas.
Who remembers, as I do, with great affection, the Dolomite?
Triumph Dolomite. Yeah, absolutely. Dolomite Sprint, good car.
And it came out in a cream colour, do you remember? And nothing else was really cream, not that colour. And there was something absolutely kind of delectable about it. Do you think it was a very female kind of car or not?
The Dolomite? Well, it was a quick car. There was a Sprint version of that. That was actually quite a quick vehicle, but they all fell apart after a while. That was a shame, really.
So does that mean you can't get them anymore?
Well, there are some around, yeah, but you have to really have cared for one for it to have lasted to today, really. There's a good owners club for Triumphs, actually, in particular.
Okay, I'm going to fling one more word in front of you here. Triumph Stag.
Oh, yes, that's super things.
Something very special about those.
Yeah, my brother's got one, actually. He just told me this morning he just purchased a Stag. Where was your first conquest, then?
My first sexual conquest?
Well, any conquest in a vehicle, really.
Oh, I've had all sorts in all kinds of vehicles, including on one notable occasion a Ferrari, I should tell you. But
Where was your first? This is the thing.
My first, in a car?
Yes.
Where? Oh.
What sort of car? What sort of car?
I think
down, you think?
It's always a Mini, isn't it? It was a T-Reg blue Mini, I think. It was not anything very, very spectacular.
T-Reg blue Mini.
Most uncomfortable. I'm not going to give you the...
we need to find it.
But I made a very big personal car mistake, which is I was one of the first people in the whole country to have a Nissan Figaro. You know those cars?
No. Is this a funny shaped one?
Yes.
I know.
Well, some might say funny, some might say, aesthetically gorgeous, actually. And when I had mine, I think there were supposedly only 9 in the whole country. They were really, really rare. You could hardly see them. And
yes.
I had it for 7 years, but I'm such a rubbish driver. I kept bashing it up, and every time I did, it took about 8 months to get it back from the repairers because you could only get the paint in Japan or something, and the parts. It was a real fag. Anyway, so in the end, I sold it, and of course, hugely regretted and deeply miss it because it was a really special car.
Everybody's saying the same thing. They just want to get back to that first car because there's so many memories hooked up with these things.
Yeah.
We've got people that have got names. There's an Austin Allegro called Purple Haze, a Mini Metro called Baldrick, and...
We'd love to hear about this. Listener, if you named your car, please give us a call, 0207 224 2000. Why did you give your car a name? What was the name? And are you ashamed to tell us why you did it and whether you still stick by the name now? How deeply do you miss your first car? And would you ever log on to Motors Reunited to find the car of your dreams, the one that got away, the one you miss? I really do miss mine, actually. It was a big mistake. My life's full of regrets. That's a minor one, thank God. Okay, coming up right now, it's the news and travel on BBC London 94.9.